Who wants to talk about brain dead Gen Z women? I think it's an excellent it's an excellent topic. These articles that are coming out now that say millennial and Gen Z women don't want to date men who listen to Joe Rogan. Says who? Says who? Like, this is the dumbest, dumb of dumb propagandas ever. I think that it's just another one of those funny things too. Like, women are so hypocritical when they talk about the type of men that they want. Often I forget there was like a study of like how many men would date. The circle of even very unattractive women still wouldn't date traditionally unattractive men on these like dating apps. There are like short men and all this kind of stuff. So I don't really care if they care of that someone listens to Joe Rogan or not. But let's look at this study because it's pretty funny, and we're going to get into it after a super quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Antelope Hill Publishing. Antelope Hill Publishing is America's leading publisher of dissident books. Their eclectic catalog includes Lord Miles's memoir of his first trip to Afghanistan during the Taliban takeover, Raw Egg Nationalist book, Eggs Benedict option, his Raw Egg cookbook, and his Man's World annual magazines, and an anonymous J6 prisoner's political analysis of the government that betrayed him entitled The American Regime. They've also published historical books from time periods such as World War II, the Spanish Civil War, many of which were previously unavailable in English, such as Leon Degrelle's The Burning Souls. The goal of Antelope Hill is to ensure that books of historic, cultural, and political value are preserved, made readily accessible and easily affordable so that history, facts, and ideas cannot be censored by corporations or governments. Whether you count yourself a political dissident, a student of history, a connoisseur of philosophy, or an enthusiast of exciting and thought-provoking fiction, you owe it to yourself to check out their catalog at antelopehillpublishing.com and use promo code QUARTERING10, one word, to get 10% off your total purchase. Go check them out, support the channel, and support a great sponsor. If you're a man who listens to Joe Rogan regularly, that might explain why you can't find a date. Change Research surveyed a whole 1,000 people. A whole 1,000 people. This is definitely a representative sample. Registered voters, by the way, between 18 and 34, and learned that 55% of women find it a turnoff if their partner listens to Joe Rogan Experience. It's not even if 55%. That's like saying, okay, well, they're probably all fat and smelly, so who cares? Millennial and Gen Z women apparently associate Rogan listeners with MAGA Republicans. In other words, they think a pot-smoking Bernie Sanders voter is Make America Great Again. What? So these women who said this are just they're self-telling on themselves for being stupid. That's what it sounds like to me, right? Young women who take their cues from TikTok don't understand Joe Rogan, and they abhor Donald Trump. Over 3/4, 76% of women said they would not date someone who supports Trump. Here are the full surveys. Well, let's take a look. Oh, God. 3/4 of women say they won't date a Trump supporter. Cool. They're probably all smelly, too. They probably are greasy. They probably have lower back hair. And they probably have an ugly haircut. That's my guess. And they're probably poor. So, I probably wouldn't date 75% of women. That number's probably even higher as you get older and you get more defined in what you like. So, women says they identify as a MAGA Republican. 76% of women said they wouldn't date them. Oh yeah, they definitely don't want a Republican with a good head on their shoulders and a good strong ideology on finances and things of that nature. They have no hobbies. 66% of women say that's actually the same for men and women. I'll tell you what, dating somebody with no hobbies is an actual red flag for me, because then you become their hobby, and life is very frustrating when you are responsible for 100% of someone's entertainment. Trust me, I know. Like, girls who don't have other girlfriends is a red flag for me, because it's like, okay, well, that means every single time this woman wants entertainment, I'm going to have to be the one that does it. I'm not saying that you're not going to want to, but I'm going to say that there's going to be sometimes you wouldn't mind a little alone time when she goes out with the girls, and you can stay home and, eat an entire frozen pizza, resting it on your belly while playing Madden football or Call of Duty or something. They say all lives matter. 60% of women say that's a turnoff. They say there are only two genders, 60%. So this is basically the divide of like conservatives and liberals. They identify as a communist, 55%. This tells you everything. And men say 64%. So 55% of women would rather date a communist than a mega Republican at 76. A significant difference. They would rather date a commie. They refuse to see the Barbie movie, 53%. Again, so 50% of these women are just like libtards. I mean, like literal. Who gives a crap if your partner doesn't want to see a stupid movie? And really, most young people are liberal. They don't care about politics. Only 50% of women said that they wouldn't date somebody if they didn't care about politics. Based men, only 29%. By the way, side note, having a wife that doesn't care about politics and then just says is like actually based and awesome, and I love it. I love it because every time voting comes around, she says, who should we vote for? And I say, this is who we should vote for. And then she goes to the poll with me. And, I get 2 votes. If they own a weapon, that only turns off 27% of women. They watch reality dating shows. They talk about politics frequently. So they want them to know about politics, but they don't want them to talk about it. I think this one's a based men here. They are into astrology. 20% of women say that's a turnoff. 41% of men say it is. I mean, like, it's wild. Women really want you to go see the Barbie movie. The female respondents obviously lean left, in part because of the age and demographics. There aren't too many young conservative women. One could argue that it's fortunate given a recent finding that attractive women are more likely to be right-wing. Nonetheless, if you want to date a liberal woman, we don't recommend it. The poll says you should adapt the following habits. Find a new podcast, never say all lives matter, frequently say Black Lives Matter, pretend you have a lot of hobbies, and pretend there are more than 2 genders. Oh yeah, that was said. Say there's only 2 genders. It turns off 58% of women. Like, here's what green flags in a partner. They read. Okay, most people like that. So actually what you should do is probably buy a bunch of books and at least pretend you read them. And then a big turn on for women is researching for the best deals and rates before buying. They say Black Lives Matter. They look better in person. They take candid pictures of you. What? That's creepy. But here's what's interesting. They identify as liberal. That's only a green flag to 39%, even though 76% said that it's a turnoff if they're a Republican. They are not on social media. 27% for women, 44% for men. It should be 100%. Men, fellas, if you meet a girl and she's not on social media, that's like a +2 on a 1 to 10 scale bonus. They send green texts. I don't know what that means. What's a green text? We are skeptical that young men care that much that a woman likes to read, or that 18% of men want a woman who prefers cow milk. But the results are the results. Ultimately, neither young men nor women have much confidence in themselves. The survey found most respondents are not confident they will ever be able to stop living paycheck to paycheck, go on vacation once a year, buy whatever they want at a grocery store, afford nice clothes, or have a reliable car. We have produced a generation of anxiety, anti-Roganism, and believers of gender theory. Not our best work. Well, maybe they... So pickup artists have demonstrated this indisputably. There's an enormous chasm between what women say they want and what they actually want. Also, this was a New York Post survey, so consider the sample population. Enjoy your cats, city ladies. I mean, yeah, I think that is a valid point. They think that my dog's snoring. They think that Jeremy's a green texter. I don't know what a green text is. It's sad. These women are all saying this is what they want. And there's a difference between hooking up with people like people do on apps and people that they actually date. Women love to say that they want a man who's willing to stay at home and be sensitive and cry at movies and go see their like femi Barbie movies and stuff like that. That's not really what they want. Women want to feel safe and protected. Most of them. That doesn't mean that they aren't independent. It doesn't mean that they don't want to go out and work. It doesn't mean, but they want to feel safe and protected. I guarantee you, they're not going to give a damn about how many books you've read when they feel safe walking next to you in a dark parking lot. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these are like, people answer this because they want to sound smart. It's so weird. I don't even understand millennial or Gen Z women. I guess, I don't know, I'm a millennial technically. So I assume their positions will change. And most of these people who say, nah, I don't want people who listen to Joe Rogan, I guarantee you they're hooking up with dudes that listen to Joe Rogan all the time.